Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Advanced Warfare in Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the MP443 Grach pistol. It was almost classified as a machine pistol, but I feel it's really more like a normal one. This is the 2-round burst pistol, and I can't quite decide if I love or hate this weapon, so let's jump into the stats first. It'll deal between 35 and 20 damage, making it 3 to 5 shots to kill, depending on your range. However, it's usually going to be a 4-shot to kill. The 35 damage drops off very quickly, and it actually has to be quite far away before it hits that 20 damage, so just keep in mind that you're usually going to be needing 4 shots to kill with this pistol, and since it's a 2-round burst pistol, that's usually 2 bursts. The 3-shot kill range is 2.5 meters. This is exactly the same as the Atlas 45, which we saw in the previous episode, so you know just how close that is. That's basically in their face. And the 4-shot kill range is 23 meters, which is comparable to that of the range drop-offs of most of the submachine guns in this game, so that can actually be quite good, but it won't make that big of a difference because since it's a 2-round burst pistol, in order to get that 3-shot kill, you have to shoot twice anyway. Just kind of funny how that works out. Rate of fire is unfortunately kind of low at 480 rounds per minute with a 0.1 second burst delay. This is the same burst delay that is applied on all the weapons, the IMR, the AMR, anything that bursts has this exact same kind of delay built into it. But unfortunately, the base rate of fire is kind of slow, and since it only shoots 2 bullets at that rate of fire before you get an artificial delay built in, the overall rate of fire is going to be kind of slow and ultimately unappealing to me. Now, you might like it, but I don't particularly enjoy it. It gets a small nerf when you run akimbo. The akimbo rate of fire is 461 rounds per minute with the same burst delay. Odds are you'll probably never notice it, but I thought I'd toss that little tidbit of info in there for fun. Recoil is low. I almost class this one as low to moderate, but since you're going to be using this mostly close to medium range, I would say it's low recoil in that range. You really shouldn't have too much of a problem hitting people, just so long as they're not moving too fast. Oh wait, this is Advanced Warfare. They're going to be dashing all over the place. And the low rate of fire is actually the biggest problem with the accuracy here because people are going to be bouncing all over the map. It also has a low auto-aim range, same as the other pistols. I got a lot of questions about this last time, and what this basically means is that in the console version of this game, you have a range of aim assist, and you also have a sticky aim that makes it easier just for you to put your aim down sights pistol, I almost said crosshairs, but that's PC, on target. And this range varies from weapon class to weapon class. Pistols typically have a very low range at which sticky aim and auto aim works, whereas some machine guns and assault rifles have a very long range at which sticky aim and auto aim works, and that's one of the components that make them better long range weapons. Again, none of this exists on PC, but it's been that way on consoles forever and ever. Though you have a low magazine size of 12. With most other pistols and weapons or secondaries, that would be a big magazine size, but since you need 4 shots to kill, that means you're going to need 33% accuracy in order to get 1 kill, which again is higher than average, and that was kind of the same problem with the Atlas 45. Your accuracy is going to need to be quite high to kill with 1 magazine without reloading, and again, this can be complicated by the fact that people bounce around in Advanced Warfare. I think the iron sights are usually good enough. I find them pretty comfortable, pretty workable. I think I got my better gameplay just using the iron sights on this pistol, and you know, most normal optics can be viable. Red dot sight, the auto zoom sight, or you know, something kind of like the enhanced vision sight, or that's the tracker sight 2.0. All of those can kind of work, and surprisingly, even some of the longer range optics are actually usable because this pistol is almost designed to be a long range pistol, since you can get pretty good range on the 4-shot kills, which would be 2 bursts with this pistol, and the recoil I find to be just high enough to make that difficult to do. But if you can do it, if you're good at correcting the little recoil of the burst, the long range optics might actually serve you well. Especially in hardcore, this could be another pocket sniper because it's probably going to kill your enemies in 1 burst, just so long as you're not shooting through walls or anything like that. The Hipfire is okay-ish. Never really had a problem with the Hipfire. I didn't use it quite as much because I need to be really accurate to kill. Unfortunately, if you put a laser sight on this weapon, it's going to change your default iron sights and add this blocky bar to the top and make it nearly impossible for you to aim down sights. So I highly recommend not using the laser sight because that's going to make this pistol extremely difficult to use because you won't be able to do anything but hipfire with it because you won't be able to aim down sights. I don't know what genius decided to add this to the gun to make it even more difficult to use, but it made me not want want to use the laser sight at all. Run speed is 100%, same as all the other secondaries, so that's fine and dandy. The best variants are the Dimension, the Hasty, and the Snappy. Now, I've got the variant chart open. These have all been kind of decoded. The Dimension and the Hasty are statistically very, very similar. The Hasty has a slight increase on the 3-shot to kill range, and they both have the exact same 4-shot to kill range, and they have minor penalties to hip spread. This is just a flat range increase with a minor hip spread penalty, and you're probably not going to be hip firing too much anyway, so the Dimension and Hasty are very good variants of this pistol. A lot of the other variants, unfortunately, have things that make them more difficult to use or are too negative, and there's also the Snappy, which I find interesting. Now, I have an affinity for akimbo pistols. All of you on the channel know this, but in this Call of Duty, beyond all other Call of Duties, because these pistols are such low damage, the akimbo makes more sense than ever before. You get the Snappy actually fires faster in akimbo. Usually, as we discussed earlier, you get a rate of fire penalty. The Snappy fires at 520 rounds per minute, so you actually get a rate of fire increase and no hit and no penalty or anything like that. You get more bullets in your akimbo, and it doesn't have any sort of hip spread penalty either, so it's going to be quite accurate and quite good. If I could get one, I would probably go with the Snappy, and if not that, I would probably go with the Hasty. As for what I think about this weapon, I feel that it can be viable as a stealthy secondary. Like, if you need a good stealth secondary for your sniper rifle or for whatever class you don't want to run overkill and you don't want to scavenge, this one can be viable because you can 2-hit or 3-hit, or no, well, 2-trigger pull or 3-trigger pull since it's a burst pistol at pretty good ranges as long as your accuracy is good. And it just feels right with the silencer because the silencer doesn't penalize the range, you know, enough to notice, or at least it's inaccurate outside of the silenced optimal range. But it's ultimately not a very good weapon. It suffers the same problem that the Atlas 45 does. It shoots too slow, people move around too fast, and it doesn't deal enough damage to kill consistently, because in Advanced Warfare there are some good weapons. I'm not going to argue with all of you that think the game is the worst thing ever in Unbalanced, because that's not true, but the nature of people moving fast and the rate of fire and these sort of burst and single shot weapons make them incredibly difficult to use, and in that situation I feel that this one is kind of outclassed. My best recommendation on how to use it is to stay at medium range and try to kill in 3 bursts or less. You want to get a 2-burst kill optimally, but that's kind of hard sometimes, so I would say it's about a 3-hit or quit kind of pistol, and if you can do 3-hit or quit, it'll actually be a good secondary for you. Unfortunately, it's not going to be very good at challenging people, like face-to-face gunfights. You're not going to be able to win those against almost any other weapon. That's all for this episode of In Depth. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you learned something useful. If you'd like to subscribe, there's a link right down there on the screen. You can also like and favorite. The previous episode was on the Atlas 45, and the next one is going to be on the PDW machine pistol, and then I've got some secret stuff to work on. Drifter out.